So the cloud wars rage on, with Geforce Now coming out of beta seemingly out of nowhere and launching its base and Founders Edition to the world. I've gotten to test this out the last 24 hours, and I have to say, I definitely have quite a few opinions on this. So in this video, we're going to break down what this service is, who it's for, the pricing, and ultimately if this service is for you. So hit that like button because it's so helpful to me as a content creator, and sub if you're looking for more cloud gaming coverage. But with that said, let's get into this video. So Geforce Now is a cloud-based service that has been in beta for almost a whopping 7 years, and it's finally in its full release form. Geforce works a little different than Stadia in that Geforce doesn't have its own library of games, but rather you play the games you already own. Whether that's through Steam, Uplay, Battle.net, or Epic Games, it offers a different service for those who've basically been in the PC ecosystem for quite some time. But is Geforce Now worth it for those who haven't bought any games on the PC? Well, more on that a little later, as I think you'll be surprised by my answer. But we can see with the release of Geforce Now that Geforce is charging a modest price to begin to join the service. Currently, you can opt in at the $4.99 a month deal with a free 90-day introductory period to be one of the founders. So essentially, you don't pay anything until after those 90 days are done. Now, what comes with the founders is priority access, extended session length, and ray tracing for games that support it. Then you have the free version that gives standard access with a 1-hour session length, but you don't have priority to a server like those who are in the $4.99 category, meaning there is a limited amount of servers. Now at first glance as a whole, Geforce doesn't look too bad, but we do have to take a little closer to see that this is unfortunately far from a perfect service. So on the surface, who exactly is this platform for? Well, I feel this falls into 3 possible categories. 1, you're a PC gamer who can't afford to upgrade your computer, and Geforce Now will let you stream your games you couldn't play with your current setup. 2, maybe you're a PC gamer who actually wants to play more on the go with Android support and being able to stream to old devices. And 3, this group of people are the one that I think Geforce needs to attract, and that is gamers who don't want to worry about upgrading to new consoles, upgrading PC parts, and just want to play anywhere, anytime they have a great internet connection. Now, ultimately, wherever you fall, or even if you're not in any of those groups, Geforce Now does have quite a few issues, and let's dive into that, starting with the fact that there is sessions to begin with. That is something that had me do a double take right away. Even if you're in the paid $4.99 tier, you'll have a 6-hour session, and you'll have to relog after those 6 hours. Nvidia does claim you'll have some form of a priority access getting back in, but the mere fact I would have to relog in my gaming sessions is really awkward. For the free version, you'll have to go through the same headache, only in 1-hour increments, but really, you're using the service for free, so I'm not sure if you can complain much. And you'll also not have priority over those who are paying, which makes a lot of sense. And while Nvidia is claiming that at launch it should be able to support over 600,000 players, the session timers don't excite me whatsoever. Now, while Geforce Now is claiming to have 30 free games to play available for the service that you can have access to, like Fortnite, League of Legends, and Warframe for example, which sounds great and has no complaints from me, what I didn't like is how there is a lot of notable games missing from the service that I can actually play. The publishers that are missing are Rockstar, Square Enix, Konami, Capcom, EA for example, publishers that feature games that are extremely popular. I did try to play GTA 5 and had no luck whatsoever. Nvidia also has an issue that had me fiddling for hours trying to figure out which of my games library that I can actually play. Nvidia says you have access to over 1,000 games, but some of those might need installs on Nvidia's servers every time you play, making the process of booting up a game quite a headache. I tried to play Path of Exile through these installs and got stalled and was never able actually to get it to boot up. So the games that actually are available to play without these installs are a complete and utter mystery and really a frustrating experience that had me kind of giving up after a bit. But does Geforce Now actually work? Well, that I can say yes with confidence. I've gotten to play quite a few games, from Overwatch you can see on the screen, to Grim Dawn on my Android phone, to Civ 5, and frankly, I had a blast. You can tell there is an ever so slight delay at times. I feel like it's just a little notch down from how well Stadia performs, but I have to say that Geforce Now does run excellent. Now, if you're wondering what is needed to run Geforce Now, well, let's take a look. For a 720p stream at 60 FPS, you need a 15 megabit connection. For a 1080 at 60 FPS, you need at least 25. So it's a slightly higher than what Stadia needs, but it's around the normal range for what you would expect to use a streaming service like this. Now, I've gotten Geforce Now to work with multiple gamepads as well as a keyboard and mouse, so in that department you're able to play with essentially anything, and even Bluetooth with my Xbox controller on my LG G8 Thin Q phone worked surprisingly well and had me pretty shocked at how smooth and lag-free it ran. But at the end of the day, you can also play Geforce Now on your television with a Shield TV, and that has been tested on this channel multiple times, and frankly, it runs really well. I feel this service, while impressive in regards to how it runs though, still needs a lot of work and has me worried about its future. For starters, the entry price is very low. 3 free months to try out with a $5 a month plan after that, but it's only for a limited 1-year use. After that, what does the price entail? That unfortunately is a mystery, and if I'm being frank, how is the current model going to sustain itself? With Geforce Now being so cheap, the mere fact that there is no revenue sharing with any games purchased, and the mystery of that future price, to say that I'm a bit worried about the future of this service would be an absolute understatement. And another factor to consider that I have not pointed out is that this service is actually riddled with bugs. I experienced quite a few in just mere hours of playing, like the Path of Exile one that I mentioned earlier, and another example, I launched Witcher 3 and my menu was all messed up and unplayable. Honestly, it feels as though Geforce Now might have felt the pressure of competing cloud services like Stadia and Xcloud and decided it's time to move while Stadia is still silent and Xcloud is still trying to work out a playable service, and I don't blame them. But the fact that we can't distinguish which games are part of the service, the bugs, and the random weird time sessions, it feels as though Geforce is still in that beta. With that said, to wrap up this video, I do have positives to say. When I could figure out which games worked with the service with my library, it worked great, and even nicer on my phone. The mere fact it is cheap, and while that's concerning for the future, is excellent, and had me signing up without even a second thought. The service running ray tracing, something that isn't even on Stadia, is frankly extremely impressive. And the biggest and final positive for me that you won't hear around other publications or Stadia Pro outlets is the simple fact you are running on the PC ecosystem, which is vastly superior to the console ecosystem. And yes, PC master race tropes may commence with that comment. But honestly speaking, you get to fully utilize Steam sales, which are the absolute best sales on any platform period, as well as things like Humble Bundle that will just practically give good games away for free. Now, of course, that comes with an asterisk because not every game on Steam or other storefronts runs on Geforce Now. But even if Geforce ceases to exist, you will have those games on Steam or other launchers that are proven and have been around for some time now and are downloadable at any time. You don't have to worry about upgrades as long as this service exists. You don't have to worry about PC part upgrades, no worrying about upgrading to the new gen consoles, and the mere fact it is playable on your television with a Shield TV, playable on your older laptop, playable on a desktop and even MacBooks, on multiple devices, makes this currently, despite all those negatives, one of the best streaming platforms available, and in my opinion moves to the second spot behind Stadia, at least for now. But I recognize that both services are different strokes for different folks and will appeal to two different types of customers. To really give the final scope of what Geforce Now does have, it's the games, and right now is the true king in that department. So please, when someone mentions Xcloud, prepare for me to laugh in your face. In the end, I do recommend trying Geforce Now because it's free, it runs pretty darn good, and even if you don't have a library of games on the PC ecosystem, but are interested in cloud gaming, you now have a cheap second option, and I don't see how this couldn't be used as just another tool for your gaming pleasure. Really though, I welcome any and all contenders to step up because at the end of the day, this is only good for consumers like myself who are just starting to realize that cloud gaming is already here and not in the future. And Geforce Now is just the next player in the game who hopefully takes this up another level. With all of that said, if you guys want more GeForce Now coverage, we have just launched a second channel that will touch on GeForce Now a lot more, as well as other cloud gaming platforms like Shadow, Vortex, Xcloud, and PS Now. So I highly encourage you guys to check out our second channel that I will have a link down below to. And I would love for you guys to let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on GeForce Now? Are you putting aside Stadia to try this out? Do you think GeForce Now has a future in cloud gaming? Are any of you excited about this period? Please let me know your thoughts down below, and I will personally be responding to your comments myself. Thanks for watching here at Cloud Gaming X. Please hit that like button and sub if you're brand new and looking for more cloud gaming coverage, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.